If you've ever needed to share a password, a config file, or some logs and thought, I really don't want to paste this into a public website, then this video is for you. Today, I'm going to show you how to install PrivateBin on Unraid. Pastebin is a self-hosted, zero-knowledge pastebin, which means everything is encrypted in your browser and your server never sees the plain text data. This is perfect for home labs, IT work, or just sharing sensitive information safely. PrivateBin is essentially a secure pastebin you control. You can add passwords, set expiration dates, enable burn after reading, protect pastes with a password, and once the paste expires or is burned, it's gone. No accounts, no tracking, no cloud paste services. Let's get it installed. All right, from your Unraid dashboard, we're going to go up to the top and click on Apps. Then in the search bar, we're going to type in PrivateBin. You'll see PrivateBin listed in the community apps. Once you find it, click Install. Most of the defaults are fine here, but there are a few important things we're going to check first. First is the port number. Right now, under Web UI, you'll see that the port number is blank, and it shows below that the default port there is 8080. That's a very popular port. I know I have it in use already, so I'm going to choose a different number. So I'll use 8078 and see if that's available. A couple options down, I'm going to expand Show Docker Allocations. I'll go back up to that Web UI port. Double click on it to select it, hit Control F in the keyboard to bring up the Find feature, and it shows one result. So that port's free and available to use. Now we can go back down and hide Docker allocations just to clean that up a bit. Right above that, you're going to find an option that says Show More Settings. Go ahead and expand that. What we're looking at here is where the config file, the data is going to be. Right now it is in the /mnt/user/appdata/PrivateBin folder. And that's exactly where we want it. We want all the configuration information to go there. And just so you know, data will also be written to this location. It's not a real big concern. It's very temporary data. It's not going to take up any space, so it's totally fine to leave it there. So everything here is fine. So let's scroll down to the bottom and we'll click Apply. And while that's installing, why don't you come join us on Discord? I'll leave a link down in the description. And when it's done, go ahead and click Done. All right, now let's jump over to our Docker tab and see if it's running. And you'll find it in the list of applications here. Mine's right here. And indeed, it does say that it started. Oh, one more thing. Over on the right-hand side, we'll find the auto start option and we'll toggle that on. So let's click on the icon for it, drop down, and select Web UI. And you should immediately see that PrivateBin requires a modern browser or that your browser may require an HTTPS connection screen. At this point, it is installed, but we really can't use it yet as we still need to put it behind a reverse proxy so that we can get to it from the outside. I figured that you plan to use this from outside of your network, so therefore you must use HTTPS for that. You can put it behind different applications like NGINX Proxy Manager, Swag, or Traffic. I've done a video on NGINX Proxy Manager. I'll leave a link to that down in the description. And just so you know, never expose PrivateBin publicly without SSL. So let's go create an entry for PrivateBin in NGINX. Back in your Unraid server, let's go to our NGINX Proxy Manager and open that up. I have mine in a folder down here under Network Services. Gonna open it up, click on the Web UI. Once you're logged in, we're gonna need to click on Proxy Hosts. All right, then over in the top right, we're gonna click on Add Proxy Host. Note, you will have to create a DNS entry on your domain hosting account to match what you use here. I've already created one off screen, so I'm gonna just put in that information. Mine is paste dot, and then whatever your domain name is. Once you've got that, go ahead and hit enter to add it. All right, next thing we need is the forward host/IP. This is gonna be the IP address for your server. Mine is the demo server, so I'll enter that. The forward port, this will be the port number that you used for PrivateBin, and I had set it for 8078. Then down below, we're going to toggle on block common exploits and WebSocket support. And back up to the top, we're gonna look for the SSL tab and click on that. In here, under SSL certificate, we're gonna click into that field, drop down, and select Request a new SSL certificate. Below there, we're gonna toggle on Force SSL, and PrivateBin is also gonna require the HSTS to be enabled, so go ahead and toggle that on. And then at the very bottom, we need to toggle on that you agree to the terms of service. Once you've got that all set, go ahead and click Save. Once that entry is created, we're gonna go back to our browser and we're gonna go to that site and see if it works. And set mine for paste dot, then the domain name. We'll go there, and it should come right up to the paste screen here. Now let's test it out. In the editor window, big center panel here, just type in some random stuff, whatever, doesn't matter. In the top right, we're gonna click Create, and it's most likely gonna fail. And it did. This took a little bit of digging to figure out what was going on, and it's a rights issue, so it wasn't too bad to figure out. But in a nutshell, here's the fix. We need to go give the proper rights to the PrivateBin appdata folder. So to do that, let's go back to our Unraid server. In the top right, we're going to find the terminal icon up here. So we can open up the terminal screen. Once you find it, click on it. Now, all this information I will leave down in the description, so you can just go copy and paste. And that should make your life a little bit easier. All right, first thing we're going to do here is to check ownership of the appdata folder for PrivateBin. To do that, we'll type ls space dash lah space, and then the location that we're inquiring about, which is going to be /mnt/user/appdata/PrivateBin. And make sure it's spelled right. And press enter. What we're looking for here is nobody and users, and that's exactly what we have, so that's good. But if you look at the front here, we'll notice that the owner's good. The group, however, does not have write access. This right here, that should be a W. The container is going to need to be able to write data to the folder, so we need to set that. So to do that, let's go back to our terminal window here. We'll type chmod space 775 space, then the location, so it'll be /mnt/user/appdata/PrivateBin. Press enter. And then we'll also type chmod space -R space 775. Then the location, which will be /mnt/user/appdata/PrivateBin, and press enter. Now let's run the ls command again. You'll see now it does have write access. That fixes one part of it. However, this container runs with non-standard UID and GID, so user ID and the group ID are not standard. So we'll have to give this appdata location rights to that user. So to do that, we're going to type in the command is going to be chown space -R space 65534:82 space / and then the location, which is mnt/user/appdata/PrivateBin, and we'll press enter. One more command to type out. It's going to be pretty much the same thing. chown -R 775 space, the location of it, /mnt/user/appdata/PrivateBin. Press enter. You should be all set here now. Go ahead and type exit. All right, now let's go restart PrivateBin. We'll find it in the list of Docker containers, drop down, and select restart. Keep an eye on the little icon here. Once it's back to the play button and it's running, we'll go back to our browser tab, refresh, just so it's nice and clean, and let's try it again. We'll type in some random stuff, and in the top right, we'll click create. And now you see it's successful. All right, now let's move on to using PrivateBin. Not a lot to go over here. It's pretty easy to use, but there's some neat details. All right, top left, we've got new. This will create a new paste. In the editor window, you type in whatever you want. Something like, this is your super secret password. And then we'll make it a super secret password. Right next to editor in the top, you've got the preview option. This will show you what the text looks like for the recipient. For now, let's go back to editor. Continuing across the top, next to new, we've got expires. You've got a drop down here. You've got some options to choose from. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, hour, day, week, month, year, or never. Simple little things like this. It all depends on what you're doing with it. You can set the time frame accordingly. For most things, a day is usually good. But for this purpose, I'm going to go 10 minutes. Next to that, we've got burn after reading. This will delete the paste after it's been read. It's a nice feature. You can turn that on by selecting it. Next option, open discussion. This controls whether a paste can have comments or replies attached to it. It's kind of neat. You don't really need it for stuff like this. You're sending somebody a password. But if you're doing some secure logs that you want to communicate back and forth about or some code, then that might be a good option for you. I'm going to leave that disabled for now. Next option over is password. It's recommended. You don't have to have one, but it's probably a good idea. So I'll put in my super secret password. Right next to that, you've got the little eye icon, so it unmasks it so you can see what it is. Hit it again, masks the password again. Next option over, format. 3 options here. We've got plain text, source code, or markdown. Markdown obviously is markdown language. Any kind of formatting options you put in there will be reflected in what the recipient receives. Source code, if you choose that. If you put in some code here, let's go with, this one's been a while, let's try it. Now if you go back to preview here, you'll see now it has different formatting. The include here, comment, that kind of stuff. It's nice if you're doing code stuff. I'm going to go back to plain text. And the last option over here in the top right, we've got create. If you click that, it'll create the link, just like that. So now you can either hit Control-C to copy it, or you can hit copy link up here, drop it in an email, send it off to whoever, put it in a forum, wherever it needs to be. Whoever gets it, they can just click on it, opens up in their browser, and it comes right up. Because we've got the burn option turned on, they get a message that this can only be viewed one time. Do you want to see it now? If you hit yes, it opens up. And then because we have the password enabled, it wants to know the password. You type in your super secret password, hit decrypt, and try that again. Hit decrypt, and there's your message. For your eyes only, this message cannot be displayed again. And then there's the message. Super secret password is right there. And then from here, you've got options across the top. You can start a new one, or you can look at the raw text, or you can save the document. Oh, important feature over on the right-hand side, you've got dark mode. If you don't like dark mode, you can turn it on. Caution. Okay, let's go back to dark. And there you go. That's PrivateBin. This is perfect for sharing passwords securely, sending config files to friends, posting logs for troubleshooting home lab or IT work stuff. And best of all, you control the data. And that's how you install PrivateBin on Unraid. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel directly, consider becoming a Patreon. Patreon members get early access to my videos, and they are completely ad and sponsor free. The link is in the description. Until then, check out one of these next. And I'll see you in that one.